selling. Another one is, all right, I understand that you don't like sales, so I can better understand how you view this. In your view, what's the difference between sales and communication? That's probably the best one to ask. It's the most effective one, and it causes your prospect to try to draw a contrast between the two. All right, before we go to the next section, I want to draw your attention to something. Remember when I said earlier that whenever you can get your prospect to tell you their objection, let them sing? Now you can see why I said that. On the I'm too busy objection, my example was that it was a mask for the MLM objection. Then on this one, is this sales, is also a mask for I don't feel confident in my ability to communicate. But your prospect won't say that. Remember when I said that you have to be a smart hardware salesperson and notice that the prospect doesn't need a drill bit, the prospect needs a hole? This is what I was referring to. Most of the time, your prospect will not tell you that she feels uncomfortable with communication, but that's what she needs help with. Sometimes you have to look through the unexpressed objection and see what your prospect needs and solve it. And that's what makes you a professional. And the last common objection I'm going to cover is the MLM objection. The way this question or objection will come to you will be your prospect asking, is this MLM? Or is this network marketing? Or is this one of those pyramids? Or is this like Amway, Mary Kay, Shackley, or some other company? This question objection comes up from the prospect being previously exposed to network marketing or MLM. By the way, there isn't any difference between MLM and network marketing. MLM is an abbreviation for multi-level marketing, which means paid on more than one level. When the media got bad on the name multi-level marketing, a group started calling it network marketing, but it's the same. To properly handle this objection, if it is an objection, you're going to do what you always do on a question or objection, and that is find out what their experience has been. Many times they've had no experience. All their information is hearsay. If they have had a bad experience with MLM, the only way to get beyond this objection is to guide them to see that their bad or lack of success experience was because of insufficient training. Even if the company they were involved with went out of business, the reason is still lack of training. In that case, it would have been poor training on how to evaluate a company. If the prospect tells you that the products they were promoting weren't any good, obviously use that information. That's what they're blaming their failure on, and it should be validated. So you could say something like, well, that's very keen of you to recognize that the product needs to really help people. So to summarize how to handle the MLM objection, you first must find out what their experience has been, and then guide them to realizing that their lack of success or bad experience was due to poor training. Now, if they've never been involved with network marketing and all their information is hearsay, follow the same procedures. You take each issue they bring up and show them how training solves it. Obviously, if they bring up that it's illegal, you would handle that having them watch Brilliant Compensation. I've never gotten a pyramid objection after the prospect has watched the Brilliant Compensation video. So I'll walk you through this procedure. Somebody asked, is this MLM? My answer is, yes, it is MLM. How do you know of MLM? If they were to say, is this network marketing, then I would use that same word. Or, could you clarify what you mean by MLM? Or, could you clarify what you mean by Amway? Or whatever it is that they said. Then the next important question is, do you have personal experience with an MLM company, or are you referring to someone else's experience? Many times you don't have to ask this because they would have answered it within their response to your first question, but make sure you know. I can't tell you how many times I went diving into handling this objection before I found out that they had never been involved in it. Okay, once you know that, you want to let them fully tell you their experience. Validate everything they say, never argue or disagree with them. Never talk bad about another company or upline. Once you have all the information, then proceed with this question. Does network marketing work? Not for you, not for anyone you know, just does it as an industry work? And then get their response. Then ask, what do you think it takes for it to work for an individual? And from there you must guide them to training. This is where you facilitating handling their objection really comes into play. Remember, if you say it, it can be challenged. If they say it, it must be true. All right, once they agree that it's training, Explain to them the advantage that they will have with your unique training. I do recommend you discuss what you've learned with Professional Inviter, because this is very different training than most have ever received in network marketing, and this is truly what they need. Now, you must get them to see how this time is different than the last time or times they were involved in MLM. If they do not see how it's different, they won't join you. After you've gotten them to agree that it is training and yours is different, then you close to action with something like this. Mark, I want to sit down with you and show you how it's different. I want to show you the training tools that are now available to you. Are you open to sitting down? An alternative would be, Mark, everything you brought up here I totally understand, and I can see how it left a bad taste in your mouth. The video that I'd like to send you will really help with this. It's done by a marketing professor who teaches network marketing at a university and someone very successful at it. The video is not from our company, it's just about the industry. It really explains everything very clearly without any hype. Let me send this to you. You watch it, and then we'll talk about it. Sometimes their experience was bad because the company went under, or the company wouldn't allow them to return the products they ordered, or something similar. After making everything they say valid, respond with, I can understand how that was a bad experience for you, and I'm sorry you had that experience. But moving forward, it's kind of like working as an employee for a bad company. It doesn't mean you never work again just because you had a bad experience. Does that make sense to you? Or like eating a bad meal doesn't mean you stop eating just because of a bad meal, right?
Professional Inviter recordings and transcripts are copyright 2004 by Up Statistics Corporation. Any unauthorized translation, duplication, importation, or distribution is a violation of applicable laws and will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.